I am so excited for Scarlet and Violet. It seems like Sword and Shield has been going on forever. And while I like a lot of the Sword and Shield sets, it just seems like there's been so much that has come out. We've had a lot of specialty sets come out. We're already, if you include those holiday sets, those specialty sets, we're already at like 15 releases, not including Silver Tempest, not including Sword and Shield 12.5. So we're going to have 17 releases during the Sword and Shield block, which I think is like the most ever. I think Sun and Moon had 15 releases total. That's really when they started doing those specialty sets and things like that. It's been too much. It's been overload for a lot of people, and that's really kind of what has hurt a lot of collectors, a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of even casual people, because it's like there's just so much money that can be spent when it comes to some of these products. So it's important to really find what you enjoy and focus on that, because there is a lot of stuff in Pokemon to enjoy. And a lot of times we talk about reprints. We spent a lot of time talking about reprints on this channel, and I wish I had some really good information for you today regarding reprints. So come back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have that information for you, because there's been rumors circulating about Evolving Skies, about Brilliant Stars, and I really want to shore those up so that way you guys know what to expect, especially as we head into the holiday season. But we're going to take a look today at the Sword and Shield block, the sealed product from Sword and Shield block. A lot of stuff has really started rising, and I know that it's sealed product rises. I get that. I understand where we're coming from, kind of like a no-brainer, right? But it's very interesting to see how these are rising, how quickly they're moving, how far they have risen, especially when we had this situation about a year ago, a little over a year ago, where things really came back down to earth and Pokemon really started going down a little bit more. Celebrations kind of came out and it was really hyped up. There was a lot of FOMO going on. People were spending way too much money on it, and then Pokemon printed enough that it kind of hit demand. And I think that's what we're talking about when it goes to the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. A lot of people were asking during the stream yesterday, hey, should I be buying this at 200? I wouldn't. I would wait. It was up on PokemonCenter.com a lot yesterday. Many people had successes, so congratulations to those people. Definitely wait. If you don't get it right away at that MSRP price or close to MSRP, we have another wave coming at the end of December. Be patient. Don't lose your mind. Buy what's important to you. With that being said, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantump. Happy Thursday. I feel like I've been recording so much content lately, so many videos. There's so much going on. So I hope you guys aren't completely sick of seeing me. I promise in 2 days you'll get a break. On Saturday we'll take the day. We'll take the day off from videos. But with that being said, I'm going to flip you guys around. How many times do I say with that being said? I'm going to flip you guys around so we can focus on Sword and Shield sealed products. Reprints really impacted things last year, right? So you can see right here at the end of December 2021, you can see this dip, right? We talk about these dips a lot. We talk about these V curves and things like that, but there's been a lot of dips in sealed product, especially the early Sword and Shield block. As we look at Sword and Shield right here, the base set, you can see it dropped all the way down to 184.59 at the beginning of 2022. That's because we had all those reprints that kind of blew up the market, right? We had another wave of Darkness Ablaze. We had another wave of Vivid Voltage. We had a second and a third wave of Evolving Skies. We had a second wave of Fusion Strike that came out in January. We had a second wave of Chilling Rain. There was just so much that kind of got thrown at us. It really tanked the pricing on a lot of these booster boxes. Even Evolving Skies dropped below $100 at one point in time, where you could buy booster boxes on eBay for 95 bucks, 90 bucks. You could buy cases for $600. It was crazy. But now, nothing like that right now. Things have definitely turned around, and that really begs people to think, hey, should we get more reprints on some of these products? And I'm going to explain to you which products I think need to be reprinted and which ones you kind of just leave alone at this point. Sword and Shield base, definitely one of those that just gets left alone right now. It's going to be rotating soon. We expect rotation to hit in January. It's not going to be around for competitive play. So a lot of these older sets from Sword and Shield kind of can be on their own now, kind of can go right off into the sunset. You still get a little bit of leftover booster packs and collection boxes and things like that. If people want to be able to buy them, booster packs themselves, still relatively cheap. $233.12 was the high point of this booster box, and that happened in April. It's been pretty consistent since then. Right now, sitting at $229.25. If we look at Rebel Clash, kind of heading in a different direction, right? Rebel Clash, not the most interesting of the Sword and Shield block. Probably in the bottom three, I would say, of all the Sword and Shield sets, after maybe Sword and Shield base, after maybe Darkness Ablaze. Obviously, the first three Sword and Shield sets, not the greatest for a lot of people. 185.70 is where this is currently sitting, well off of its 1-year high of 204.94. But overall, over the past year, Rebel Clash hasn't done too bad. It's stayed fairly consistent. You can see it dropped down to 173.39 when all those booster boxes dipped, then kind of rose up to that 204.94 before coming back down a little bit. Now, like I said, it's sitting at 185.70. Darkness Ablaze is interesting because this one hasn't moved at all. We got another reprint of this one at the end of 2021, and that was coming off the point where you can see it was at a 1-year high. It was sitting at 193.67, right around that $200 mark. So the reprint really brought this down to MSRP. It really hasn't moved. It's a little bit below MSRP right now. We talk about MSRP changing, and I've got actual numbers that I'll be able to deliver to you tomorrow on what MSRP is going up to. But 130.74, really where it's sitting right now, and it's kind of been at that point for a long time. You can see it dropped down to 97.87 at the end of 2021 after we had that reprint. Hasn't moved up too much ever since then. It stayed at 130, hit 130 in about April, and kind of stayed at that point ever since then. Same thing with Vivid Voltage. Hasn't moved a lot. We got that big reprint that hit at the end of December, and then when we coupled that in April with a huge Elite Trainer box reprint, right, along the same time as those Shining Fates ETBs, hasn't moved. And this is what Pokemon does when they print to demand. When Pokemon does a good job printing to demand, this is what happens. You can expect below MSRP pricing for a long, consistent period of time. This is going to climb, but it's going to take a long time. That's what it matures organically. It grows organically. But at one point in time, it was selling for $170.39. That was prior to that reprint. Brought it down to 98.30, climbed up a little bit, sitting around 130. It's been staying at that point ever since then. 128 is where it's sitting right now. Battle Styles, what can you say about Battle Styles? Just not a lot of fun for a lot of people. It's got some cool alternate arts in it. It's not a bad set from a competitive standpoint. Not as good now as what it was when it first came out. But you can see at one point it hit 102.46. That was in October. And we got more boxes of it, and it just hasn't moved. It's still sitting at distributors. People can still order it. LGSs can still order it, so it's not moving at all. Unlike Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign, which are climbing a little bit, this one is staying very consistently right around that $90 mark. It did drop down to 78.61, which is lower than a lot of wholesale places, which is crazy, before going up a little bit, sitting at 88.91 right now. Then we've got Chilling Reign. This one is on the rise. This one is actually doing fairly well. You can see about a year ago, it was at 134.10. That was right around the time that Wave 2 came out, that second wave, which was absolutely massive, about the same size as the first wave of it. And then, like all the other products, hit December and then dropped like a rock because we did have all that over-fulfillment or that oversaturation of booster boxes that kind of hit the market. But it's been growing steadily since then. So it dropped down to $80. It's been climbing a little bit. It's up $20 from where it was in January of 2022, so it's sitting at $100.94. The thing is, right now, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, out of stock at a lot of different distributors, unorderable, and basically out of print. They don't know if it's going to get printed again. We don't know if we're going to get a restock of it, and it would surprise me if we did, because MSRP is going up. We know it's going up with Scarlet and Violet, so the opportunity to print something for a cheaper price point shouldn't be there, right? They're going to be focusing more on the more expensive price point at Scarlet and Violet. So I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot more Chilling Reign kind of come out of the woodwork where we would get more booster boxes of it, because it just doesn't make sense when the market is still right around that $105 mark. So this is going to grow a little bit more rapidly, a little bit quicker. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Evolving Skies, this is the one that a lot of rumors are circulating about. A lot of people are saying, oh, December, it's coming for another reprint. Wouldn't surprise me, but I can't confirm it yet. So come back tomorrow. I'll let you know for sure if it's coming or not. But right now, Evolving Skies is just taken off. I had to replace this graphic because I made this graphic a few days ago, and it's already blown up even more. So it's sitting at 236.87 right now, which is a year high. You can see where its dips are right when the reprints happened. So in the middle of July, it got reprinted again. It dropped right around to MSRP, around that $140 mark. At the end of 2021, it had its second and third reprint, brought it down to that $100 mark, but really just kind of taken off again. And this reprint that it had in July was enough to really bring the hype train all over the place, and you can see it just shot up like a rocket. It's 236.87 right now and climbing. Fusion Strike, we had that first wave of Fusion Strike originally when it came out in October of 2021. That's why you see the high point of 149.92. That was pre-order pricing. Dropped really hard, really fast. This was really the first point when we saw the Pokemon trading card game kind of going backwards, right? Because it was we weren't getting $100 booster boxes anymore. You were seeing $90 booster boxes for Fusion Strike, and it stayed relatively consistent for a while, all the way up until about July, and then it started going up a little bit. So it's sitting at $99.54 right now. But again, while you see a lot of these booster packs and collection boxes and things like that, booster boxes, like I said, out of stock at a lot of distributors, not available for order from the Pokemon Company. We'll see if it gets another print run. This is kind of on the verge. We don't expect to see this rotating out, so this will be a long around in competitive play. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got a small reprint of Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign, but it's really going to be dependent on the market. Pokemon's got to look at some of this stuff and say, hey, some of these sets are too high. Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, too high right now. We have to reprint more, so that way we have to step in. Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign really on that border process right now, where they're like, do we? Market price is still right around 100. That's $40 less than MSRP. It's pretty cheap. Do we really, is the supply there enough to hit demand? If we move on to Brilliant Stars have climbed a lot. And this was another one where I had to replace the graphic of it. I think you can still buy booster boxes on PokemonCenter.com for about $143 for MSRP, but as far as LGSs go, unavailable to order more. Very, very low stock, and a lot of people are looking for a reprint for this product too, based off of the price point that it's hit. It's hit a 6-month high because it came out about 6 months ago, a little more than that, 166.06, so well above MSRP right now. 134.48 is where it dropped down to, right around that second print wave that we got of it, which was significantly smaller than the first print run, but definitely climbing ever since then. Then we've got Astral Radiance right around $100. No need to reprint this. We had a second wave, which was decently big. 98.53 is its low point. Not too much higher than that right now, sitting right around 101.83. So $100, not bad for a booster box, right? I think a lot of people will agree. You know, that leaves a little bit on the plate for an LGS to make a few dollars, and that also gives the collectors a good deal. This was at 129.01 right before the set came out around pre-order time. So you can see it dropped down, but supply is still there to meet demand. Not a whole lot available for order from the Pokemon Company for distributors, but still some that are sitting back at distributors that LGSs can order. Sword and Shield, the Lost Origin set that just came out, there has been rumors of another wave coming, but I haven't heard any confirmation of that yet. I've heard rumors that maybe in November there'll be a smaller second wave that's coming, but right now, the only thing that I can confirm is that it was just the one print run and pretty much done. Not a whole lot available currently for order, but again, $100 booster box, $100.96 is where it's currently sitting. $118.60 is where it was when it was pre-ordering, but then you can see just stayed consistent after that, right around $100. Champion's Path is something that a lot of people are like, hey, is this getting reprinted? Is it not getting reprinted? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't think it's getting reprinted, and distributors don't think it's getting reprinted either. There was some found stock at a couple of distributors, and some of you reached out to me saying that you work with those distributors and that they're offering the product at a very, very expensive rate. They found some maybe in the warehouse or maybe in the back room or whatever the case may be. Maybe they held some back. But right now, sitting at 95.62, much closer to its 1 year high or 1 year low than its 1 year high. 92.61 is where it hit right around the time when we got those reprint rumors, dropped down to 92.61, but still well off of its 115.21 high, which it hit in April of 2022. Then we've got Shining Fates, which dropped really hard after that reprint that we got in April of 2022. You can see 78.38 is where it was climbing. Pokemon kind of intervened, said, hey, we're going to put a lot more of this out there. It was a massive reprint for the Pikachu V-Boxes and for the Shining Fates ETBs. Dropped all the way down to 41.06. It's gained a little bit back, sitting right around MSRP right now, which isn't too bad. Then we've got the Celebrations ETB, which is slowly climbing. A lot of people have found Celebrations product at Walmart, including the Elite Trainer Box, so keep looking out for those. I don't think they're going to reprint this item because they said they wouldn't. Pokemon strictly came out and said in February they were twilighting this product. They weren't going to have any more available for order, and I believe them because they've never made that announcement before. So you might see some products still kind of popping up, whether it be distributors held some back or marketing companies held some back, or a big collector sold some off to a distributor or a marketing company or whatever the case may be. 76.06 is where it's sitting right now. Not too bad. I mean, very slow organic growth that we've seen really since January of 2022 after it fell down to that 56.03 mark. Then we've got Pokemon Go, which did get another reprint, which is very surprising because it wasn't doing very well to begin with. Pokemon Go, not a bad set. I really enjoy opening it. I like the Radiant cards in it. The Rainbow Rares are a lot of fun. $47 was the high point for this in July, but it dropped really hard. And you can see it's sitting at $39.32. It might go down a little bit more. We're closing in on that wholesale price for these holiday sets. The holiday sets, remember, retail for $49.99. So this is dropping really, really hard. Not too bad for 10 packs plus that full art Mewtwo that you get. Very interesting to see how things go. That's the last set that we have to go through for Sword and Shield. Like I said, Silver Tempest still coming out, and then 12.5, Sword and Shield 12.5 is supposed to come out in the middle of January, so it'll be interesting to see how that looks. I can't wait to look over Silver Tempest a little bit more. We got that alternate art Lugia leak, which looks absolutely phenomenal. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might be looking to get surprised, so I'm not going to include an image or anything like that. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you do, hit that like button down below and leave a comment, because it goes a really long way for the algorithm. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Share the channel as we continue to grow. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I can't say enough good things about you, so thank you for everything. Until tomorrow, guys. Peace.